morning and welcome back to Football League World TV. As ever, it's Friday morning. It's time for the EFL betting show here on the channel where we look ahead at the best bets in the English Football League this coming bank holiday weekend. My name is Sam Rourke, the Chief Editor of footballleagueworld.co.uk, and I'm joined by my colleague Adam Jones this morning to run through all the best bets. Adam, how are we this morning?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm looking forward to another packed weekend of EFL action. Obviously, Luton, Sheffield United tonight, which I'm particularly excited for. It could be a high-scoring game, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm very excited for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a reminder to anyone watching this show, please do gamble responsibly, 18 and over. That is very, very important. If you haven't seen this show before, we run through 4 different selections. Adam will be selecting a banker of the weekend, an accumulator, a value bet, and a wild card. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So get yourself in the comments. Have you got any bets on this weekend? We'd love to get your thoughts. Right, let's start off with the banker. Okay, Adam, what's your banker for this weekend?
Well, I've decided not to touch the Championship in terms of this banker because I just think some of the fixtures in the second tier are very close, and I think it just sums up how close the second tier is just in general. But I've gone with League One, Sheffield Wednesday versus Forest Green Rovers. I don't think it's necessarily because of Forest Green's weaknesses and the fact that they've only just come up, but just because of Sheffield Wednesday just prowess really just across the pitch. I mean, they've made a reasonably promising start to the season. I know that they've had a couple of blips. Obviously, opening day against Portsmouth wasn't fantastic, and obviously the Posh game as well was a bit of a nightmare for them, obviously with Reece James getting sent off as well. But they have kind of overcome some good opposition as well, not just Sunderland in the Carabao Cup, but also likes of MK Dons, Charlton, Bolton Wanderers as well, who are, all strong outfits really in the third tier and forces to be reckoned with really. So, and I'm looking at Sheffield Wednesday and I'm thinking there's very kind of few weaknesses in their squad. Obviously there's the defensive fragility, but obviously with the recent addition of Mark McGuinness, I think they kind of strengthened most positions and they've got, a decent amount of depth in most areas. So I'm really kind of optimistic about their chances this season and definitely this weekend. I think, as I said as well, Mark McGuinness is going to be a fantastic addition. I think Malik Wilks as well is going to be a real force. Obviously, contributed heavily to Hull's promotion season. So that's kind of another promising thing for them. And you just felt they needed that little bit more kind of attacking firepower going forward. So I think for me, definitely, they've got a range of goal scorers in their team as well, not just, Wilks coming in as well, obviously with Marvin Johnson at left wing back, who can be a real asset going forward. And from the midfield as well, George Byers, Barry Bannon, and Deli Bashir as well, who was fantastic on the opening day. So I think for me, it's got to be Sheffield Wednesday as the banker against Forest Green Rovers at home as well. And last season, they were very good at Hillsborough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think many will certainly agree with you. Your selection there. Have you got a price on that, Adam, at all? Or
4 to 7 on Sky Bet. So it's not it's not the best, but obviously it's a bank at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Well, there we go. Adam opting for Sheffield Wednesday to beat Forest Green Rovers as his banker this weekend. Sheffield Wednesday are undefeated in their last 11 home matches. So the omens are certainly positive for the Owls. Right, let's look at the accumulator next. Okay, Adam, what's your accumulator for this weekend?
Well, I feel I've gone a little bit boring. I've stuck with Sky Bet. I'm Sky Bet loyal. Obviously, other betting companies are available. I've gone with a 3.32 to 1, which isn't exactly the best odds, but I think this is a safe one. Middlesbrough to win against Swansea. Obviously, Middlesbrough haven't had the best start to the season. Swansea haven't either, really. Suffered some real late setbacks, which is going to be a real blow to them. But you just feel at some point Borough are going to take off. Really, obviously they added Matt Clark to their squad yesterday, which I think is another piece to the jigsaw. Obviously, Ethan Ampadu as well being linked. I think he's going to be a decent addition. You just feel they need more of an attacking midfielder than a defensive midfielder, but nonetheless, having Ethan Ampadu in the Championship is is no mean feat really. So that will be decent for them if they can pull that one off. And then after that, I think it's just a case of getting one more striker in and potentially spending big on a striker. But even obviously Rodrigo Muniz coming in as well, who's going to be a real force going forward. And I just feel, at the Riverside, I think they're going to win. And I've also gone with Sheffield Wednesday versus Forest Green Rovers, my banker. I thought, may as well include that one in there. Obviously, I've said before, I think Sheffield Wednesday just have too much kind of attacking firepower, really. For Forest Green Rovers, obviously, Forest Green Rovers are a recently promoted side as well. And the third game I've gone with, which it may be a little bit of a risk, like Middlesbrough versus Swansea, I've gone with Ipswich Town with a win against Barnsley. I just think they're a Championship side kind of in waiting at the moment, just with the link on the right-hand side between Donacien and Burns. I think they're superb, just the way that they link up. And also, they're kind of similar to Sheffield Wednesday in terms of having the squad depth and the quality in there. Obviously, bringing in the likes of Freddie Ladapo and Marcus Harness as well, who I was expecting to go to the Championship, and obviously Don Ball, Leif Davis, Richard Keogh as well. So they've got some real kind of assets in there that they can that Kieran McKenna can utilise throughout the season. And those are the three games that I've gone with. I was going to add AFC Wimbledon versus Barrow, which I thought was an even riskier pick, to make it 9.25 to 1. But I think it was just too much of a risk on the day, to be honest with you, because I think, obviously at AFC Wimbledon, struggling to buy wins, and Barrow have done very well under Pete Wild so far. So I wasn't going to risk that one. I'm going to go with 3. Some would say safe bet, some would say risky, but I definitely think that all 3 have got a good chance of winning: Middlesbrough, Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich.
Okay, yeah, a very sensible accumulator there from you this morning, Adam. Nice to see at 3.32 to 1. I could see that one certainly coming off. But just a reminder, please do gamble responsibly. 18 and over. Adam opting for a treble there for his accumulator. Let us know your thoughts on Adam's Acca there. Right, let's touch on the value bet next. Okay, Adam, where is the value this weekend in the EFL?
I've gone with Blackburn versus Stoke and over 3.5 goals, which is 3 to 1 with Sky Bet, which I think is not too bad at all. Obviously, you look at the different sides. You look at Blackburn. Obviously, we revealed yesterday about Everton kind of closing on Ben Burton Diaz. He may or may not appear today. We don't know. But, if he does, then they've got a good chance of getting in amongst the goals. Obviously, they've got Sam Gallagher as well. And Ryan Hedges has started the season very well in the final third. So, they were absolutely clinical as well against the likes of Swansea City and West Bromwich Albion. Obviously scoring 3 against Swansea in a very impressive away performance. Obviously Callum Britton as well, which I'm going to single out again. I've done it kind of last season with Barnsley, just that real threat on the right hand side, and just the fact that he can get in the box and he can kind of appear at the far post and be a real threat that way. So I think he'll get in amongst the goals as well at some point, and obviously there'll be no shortage of motivation really for them to do well following obviously back-to-back defeats, obviously against Reading, which will be particularly disappointing for them, and Sheffield United. Obviously that was a very tough game. In terms of Stoke, it's kind of the end of an era really under Michael O'Neill. I think again, they haven't been the best defensively, like Blackburn Rovers recently, but they do have some real assets going forward. Obviously, Brown and Campbell, and obviously Liam Delap and Dwight Gale as well. And obviously the Delap factor kind of comes in, his potential debut. I'm kind of expecting him to get perhaps 1 or 2 goals as well. And, I can definitely see kind of a 2-2 draw or something like that happening. I don't think there'll be a shortage of goals in this game, but in saying that, it'll probably be a 0-0 draw now.
That game, like you say, does certainly have the personnel to deliver goals. There we go. Adam opting for that. What was that? Sorry, at 3 to 1. Was that?
It was 3 to 1. Yeah.
3 to 1. Okay. Well, let us know your thoughts on Adam's value bet there. Have you found any value? Let us know in the comments. Right, one more selection on this EFL betting show this morning, and that is the Wildcard. Okay, so the Wildcard is a selection that's somewhat left field. Adam, what have you gone for?
This is very left field. So I've gone with 3 games over 3.5 goals, 50-1, which is a pretty big bet. Sunderland versus Norwich. I've gone with the first game. I just think that Alex Neil's side are pretty much a championship team now and have a really good chance of coming out on top in this one. But I don't see kind of Norwich not scoring as well. They've got like Josh Sargent, obviously Timu Pukia, who hasn't had the very best start to the season, but can still be, a force going forward, as we've seen in recent years in the Championship in years gone by. Obviously, Adam Ida as well, and Jordan Hugel, who's got off the mark as well recently, and that will give him plenty of confidence, especially after a reasonably decent loan spell at Cardiff City as well. So I can see there being some goals in this match, definitely. I think Sunderland have got some decent assets going forward. Obviously, Ross Stewart, who I think has become accustomed to the Championship already, Ellis Sims as well, and obviously others that can contribute. I've been really impressed actually with Alex Pritchard in the early stages of this season as a real creator. So I've gone with over 3.5 goals there. Also, I've gone with Blackburn versus Stoke, as I've mentioned before. I can see there being plenty of goals in that match too. And I've gone with the last one, and this bet could be ruined by 10 o'clock tonight. Luton versus Sheffield United. I just think their strike forces. It's got, obviously, you look at Luton and they've added the likes of Cauley Woodrow and Carlton Morris as options alongside the likes of Harry Cornick and Elijah Adebayo, who I think are going to be real kind of assets for them going forward again this season. So, I do think they're going to get in amongst the goals, even against a Sheffield United side. Their defence on paper looks very good, but I do think at home there are going to be some openings there for them to exploit. And in terms of Sheffield United, I just think Iliman and Jai is going to perhaps get in amongst the goals again. And you've got other attackers as well that can come in and contribute, and obviously not just the strikers as well, but people behind them. Obviously McAtee, who I think is going to be a real hit in the Championship this season. Obviously Raider Kadra, who's had Championship experience under his belt already with Blackburn Rovers, so it shouldn't take him too much time to get kind of in amongst the goals and assists. So I've gone with those 3 games: Sunderland versus Norwich, Blackburn versus Stoke, and Luton Town versus Sheffield United, all over 3.5 goals at 50-1.
Well, some juicy odds there for sure, 50-1 on that wild card. You're a brave man betting on the Friday night game. I often tend to leave it, but fair play. I can see the logic behind it for sure. Goals, certainly the main order of the day then for this weekend for your selections there, Adam. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on Adam's 50-1 wild card bet. Lots of goals required for that one, but it's certainly got a chance. Okay, well, that brings an end to this morning's EFL betting show here on Football League World TV. We've got one more show coming up for you at 11:30. Alfie Burns and Marcus Ali will be running through all the best games on this bank holiday weekend in the EFL. So well worth tuning into that one for some excellent coverage on what's to come. Adam, thanks for joining me this morning. Thanks for all of your selections. Fingers crossed for anyone having a bet this weekend. Please do gamble responsibly, though, 18 and over. Lots more coming up on Football League World TV next week. Lots of fan shows and debates to be had. So please do like this video and subscribe to FLW TV on YouTube. It really does help us grow. But until next time, we shall see you soon.